always feel unorganized and messy when it comes to your social media, you don't feel like you're being consistent and cohesive enough, well, today I'm going to introduce you to the Social Media Digital Planner, and I'm going to show you how to use it. Now, this planner will help you be more consistent and cohesive with your social media and help you get really organized and help you also look at what's working, track your analytics, all those sort of things, so that you can have a much more stronger strategy and a better presence on your social media platforms. Before we dive in how to use this, you're going to need a tablet such as an iPad and also one of these apps. Now I'm going to show you how this works in GoodNotes, but you can use any of those other apps as well. So let's dive in and have a look at the planner. If you've already bought the social media planner, you should also have a guide on how to upload it into GoodNotes. So let's go through and look at how to use it in GoodNotes. So if you go through, you've got your cover page here, the social media planner, and then the next page, when you just scroll acrosswards, you've got a welcome page, which also has a link to this video and also has a link to email me if you've got questions, and also my Instagram. So if you need any extra help, feel free to reach out. Now over on the side we have all the tabs. We have goals, foundations, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, and reviews. So they are the different sections of the planner. So then up the top of each section you find some other tabs. So when you're in goals, you'll see monthly, quarterly, and yearly. So you can skip around to those different sections and you've got those tabs to help you easily, quickly jump to the different things you need. Okay, so let's start with goals. So first of all, you'll see monthly. So in this goals section, you'll find monthly, quarterly, and yearly. So first of all, we'll start with our monthly. So something you're going to want to do is make copies. So every section, I've mostly just given one copy so it doesn't make the file too big, but you're going to want to make copies so that you can use that page over and over. So you'll notice up the top, there's 3 blue dots. You want to press copy page. Then you want to move along till you get to the end of that section, so wherever you want to paste it, and then you click on that little document with a plus and then paste page. So it will put the page wherever you're at that time. So make sure you scroll back to the very end of that monthly section so the new month section repeats over after that previous one. Now we can start filling in. So I would suggest always keeping one blank version of pages that you're going to repeat all the time so that you can easily copy them whenever you need them. So we can use the pen tool. So you'll see up on the left there's a little pen tool, and we can use that to write. So if you've got an Apple Pen, if you're using an iPad or whatever kind of tablet you're using that comes with a pen, you can use that to write. There are other options for writing too, including using text, so I'll show you that later. So as you can see here in the boxes, we can just use our pen tool and we can just fill it in just as if it was a paper planner. So we can put all our details in really easy. So with this section, it's all about reflecting on the month ahead so that as you create your social media, you can really think about, well, what's coming up? What kind of things do I want to be talking about? What do I want to focus on? And that's going to make it so much easier to plan out your content because you're first of all getting started on thinking, well, what's actually happening this month? So then once you finish the first page, obviously you want to again copy and paste the next page of that monthly section and put it after that, the first monthly section page. We can start filling it in. So this one's got some check marks about thinking about, well, what platforms do I want to be active on this month? And, how often are we going to be publishing? What kind of long form content might you be publishing that you might want to create snippets from for your social media content, things like that. Then moving on to the quarterly section. So in this section, we're thinking a little bit bigger picture. So quarters are 3 months. So you're sort of thinking a bit more long term of what's going to be coming up over the next 90 days. What kind of bigger projects have I got? Have I got a big launch coming up? Or they're big projects I'm going to be working on? Things like that. So this is a section for really thinking about what you've got going on, what you've got coming up, certain things you're working on and goals, so that you can incorporate that into your social media. So if you're working on a project that probably won't be finished till at the end of the quarter or maybe in the beginning of the next one, you might be wanting to be showing snippets of it as you create it to get your audience excited. So by writing about this stuff, it really helps you. Now see here, we've used the texting rather than lettering. So you've got a text tool up the top there, and you've also got a highlighter tool, which I just showed you can use as well. So moving on to the year section. So the yearly section, we're just going to first of all create a vision board. So we're really thinking about what's the vision for the year ahead? How do I want it to feel? So here you can add photos. So you'll see that little photo icon up the top. You can click on that and you can get all the images from your iPad. So if you don't have them all on your iPad, you might want to import them to your iPad first, and then you can start placing them in. So you can get really creative with this because you can use any images. You can pull some images off the internet, have your own photos you've got, anything that you want to put in there, and get creative with it. Think of it like a real life collage where you've cut out things and pasted things on. So you can find maybe some planner stickers that you really love or things like this. Like I've just put in a little post-it note and then added a bit of text on top. So you can really layer it up and get creative because you can use that pen tool again on top of images. So whatever you put on, you can then get the pen tool and add a bit more. You could even do a bit of drawing, whatever you want to do. Get creative with it, make it your own, inspire yourself for the year ahead. So treat it just like you would a paper planner, but we're just doing it digitally, so we're not wasting any paper and we can reuse this over and over again. So up the top here, I accidentally put in the year under word of the year. So let's see what we do when we make a mistake. So up the top, you'll also find a rubber tool. So you can grab the rubber tool and you can rub it out. Or you'll also see up the top there some arrows, and you can press back to undo the mistake you made. So if you just made a mistake just then, you can undo it and go back that way. So you can very easily remove anything off the page that you don't want. With the images, you just have to click and it will have a delete button. So if you decide, nope, this isn't working out, you can remove everything off the page too. So there's several sections here with the yearly that you can fill in to think about the year ahead. Now the next section is foundations. So foundations, we've got branding, values, message, voice, and pillars. So first of all, we'll look at branding. So we start the branding off with your brand mood board. So if you've already got a brand mood board, you won't want to just insert the whole brand mood board. Whereas if you've just got images, you can create it there. You can just start putting all the individual images in and create a brand mood board for yourself. Then we've got your visual branding. So this is where you can import your logo as an image. You can put your submark, a profile image that you're going to use in social media. And then you can put in your brand colors as well. So we've got up here with the pen tool, you can actually put in the hex code of the color you want. So if you know your brand colors, you can actually put that hex code in, and then you can make your pen really thick and you can just color in the box with your brand color. So it's a really fun, easy way of doing it. And it just feels a little bit more like a real life planner that way because you're just coloring something in. So here we've just colored it in, and then underneath we can just write that hex code for easy reference. So this page is just about making a reference page so you can quickly grab it and be like, oh yep, that's my colors and my fonts, that's my logo, just an easy reference point really. So we have our brand values. So here I've given a list of all different types of values that will really help you get started if you've never worked on brand values before. So you can just highlight the ones that you think fit your branding. And then in that little box down below, you can add extra details or write out a little bit more about what your brand values are, or just list them. So maybe one of your values isn't in that list, you can write it down there too. So if you scroll to the next page, you've then got values in action, where you can just write about how you actually are going to act on those values. So you keep that in mind whenever you're posting things on social media, keeping in mind the things that you would never do, the things you do, so that you're just always referring back to that and sticking to it. Now our next section is message. So our brand message, this is where we can put your profile, some of your key messages in your brand. And then the next page, if we scroll along, is your audience profile. So you can stick a picture of someone that fits your ideal audience, and then you can write a little bit about them, things like their age and gender and lifestyle. And then thinking a bit more deeply, things like their struggles and all that. So as you create content, you can refer to that and keep that person in mind. Then we have your voice. So you've got your voice with brand personality and how your brand sounds. And then this, and then if you scroll to the next page, this table here is going to help you really break down your voice characteristics. So we've got here, for an example, we've written friendly, and then the description, we talk like a friend. The things that you do, be very casual and kind and treat people as equals, but you don't be too sloppy or use too much slang. So it's really about really breaking down those voice characteristics so it's really clear how does that actually look, because friendly might mean different things to different people, so you're making it really clear what that means for your brand. And then finally we have pillars, and then we've got the content topics, and then also breaking them into the educational, promotional, and engagement topics. And the next page we've also got community building, entertainment, inspiration topics. So that's where you can really write down, these are all the types of topics and things that I cover, so that if you ever feel stuck, you can go back to them and think, what things haven't I covered? So now we're in Instagram. So we've got hashtag, schedule, idea dump, and content. So let's start off with schedule. So you also notice up the top here, there's some quick links, posting schedule, weekly, monthly, and yearly. They're also clickable too. So with the posting schedule, you can just mark off, these are the days that I will do those particular types of posts. You can write the best times of day. So if you've done a bit of research into analytics and found this is what's working for me, you can note all those things down for easy reference and to keep yourself consistent. So you're like, this is what I want to be doing. This is my plan of action for how I'm doing this stuff. Then we've got our weekly plan. So this one's one where you're going to want to copy the page every time. So you want to go up there to copy page and then paste page. So you're always making a fresh one each week. And here you can write your week's intention, your top priorities, and then each day you can write down things that you want to be posting, tick them off as you do them. And so you're really making sure that you're sticking to your plan and staying consistent. And yep, this is what I have planned for the week. So maybe on a Sunday or whatever, you can go through this weekly plan and say, this is what I plan out for the week. This is what I'm going to post. And if you get stuck during the week, you can come back to it. And it just keeps you on track so that you know exactly what you're doing. All right, so then we've got our monthly plan. So this is a bigger overview. And on this next page after the monthly plan is a month feed. So the month feed, I know the squares are really small, but it's more about as you create content, you can put it in there and you can make sure it's all working out. So you're sort of looking at that bigger picture of everything you're posting for the month, or if you post more than once a day, just, those most recent 30 ones. And then you can move things around too. So if you put them in place, you're like, actually, I don't think those are working out. You can move those images around, swap them around. And so it just is a useful tool for making sure that everything in the feed is going to look good before you put it all out there. So it helps you just plan that month out more easily. And then we have yearly. So this is where you can put in, big events or things that you need to keep in mind over the year. Then we have our idea dump page. So this is where if you've just got random ideas that come to you, you can put it all on that idea dump page. You can duplicate this page many times. And now we've got content. So here we've got another lot of quick links. So we've got single posts, carousel, reels, stories, and live. So all the different types of content that you'll be posting on Instagram. So you've got a template for each of these to help you plan out that content. So every time you make a plan, you want to copy the page, paste it, and so you've got a fresh one to work with, and then just go on and start planning out your content. So you've got a section there for putting in the graphical image. So you can use the pen tool and sketch out an idea if you haven't made it yet. Or once it's finished, you can put it in there. You can always put it on top of your sketch too once it's finished. Then you've got sections here for ticking off as you go. So you've created the graphic, copywritten, scheduled, shared, the date you want to post it. Then you've got the copy section, so you probably want to use the text tool up the top there and write in your copy. If you don't want to write the full copy, you can always just write a summary of what you want to be including, whatever is going to suit you and is going to work with your workflow best. You've also got a section here for adding hashtags. So again, you can use the pen tool if that's easier and just put your hashtags in. So if you don't want to put all of them too, you might want to put some key ones that you definitely want to be including in that post, things like that. You've also got a section here called repurpose. So if you want to repurpose that post somewhere else, you can click the repurpose, tick it, then write in where you want to repurpose it and the date you want to be sharing that on that other platform. So then we've got carousel posts, so planning out your full carousel post. So this one's a 2-page one. So you've got a section for the graphics and the call to action, and then also a section where you can write your copy and hashtags and all that sort of stuff. So when you create a carousel one, you want to make sure that you're copying and pasting both of these pages because it's a 2-page planner for the carousel posts. Then we have reels. So reels, we can put down things, like our music, our topic, our hook, the text that you want to put on clips, all the different things to plan out your reel and, when do you want to record it, when do you want to publish it, all that stuff. So it's a really helpful planner, the Reels planner. Then we've got a story set planner. So I know sometimes stories are just something that you'll record on the fly, but if you've got a particular story set that you want to plan out, you can use that. Then we have a live planner. So this is for planning out your lives and making sure that you've got everything clear. So when you go live, you know exactly what you're talking about and you're all prepared. Now, before we go on, another helpful thing to keep in mind is that you can pinch your screen if you want to zoom in. So if you're thinking, oh, this is a bit small, it's hard to type or hard to be drawing and writing in it because I feel it's a bit small, you can zoom right up close and make it really right up close to your face kind of thing, which is one thing you can't do with a paper planner other than stick your face close to the page. So this is really, really helpful. So if you want to zoom in, just remember you can just pinch the screen like that and you can zoom in. All right, now let's look at planning a Facebook. So Facebook is split into schedule, idea dump, group, and content. So this is fairly similar to the Instagram planner, but we've also got a group section here for planning out your free groups and your paid groups. So just like with Instagram, you've got in the schedule, you've got the posting schedule, weekly, monthly, and yearly. So they're pretty similar to how Instagram works. You've also got the idea dumps page. Then you've got that Facebook page, so you've got a free one. And then if you scroll across, you'll also find one for your paid groups as well. So if you've got a paid group part of a program you do, you've got a section for planning that as well separately. Then we have our content, so planning out your Facebook page content. And then if you scroll across, you'll also find another live planner for planning out live stream. I've got Twitter. This has a simple schedule. It's also got a hashtag area for collecting hashtags, an idea dump area for, if you've got a really cool idea for a tweet that you're not ready to post right away, you can put out any ideas you've got there. And then you've got a tweet planner. Now, I know sometimes, again, tweets are something that you might want to do on the fly, but if you've got something in particular you need to plan out, you've got somewhere to plan those tweets. So you can also, if you've got tweets that have images, you've got a section to add an image. You can think about your call to action and your topic, also what you're actually going to be writing, the actual copy of the tweet. So these are great for bigger events like launches or a sale or anything, something that's a bit bigger than you just, an average tweet where you're just tweeting on the fly about something that's happening in the day. This is where you can plan out those more important tweets and remind yourself that this is something that I need to put out there and need to be sharing, and what date do I want to share it and all that sort of stuff. So it really just helps you get really organized with that sort of thing. Now we've got TikTok. So again, this has got the schedule, so posting schedule, weekly, monthly, and yearly, so very similar to all the other ones. And then we've got our hashtag section, so you can collect hashtags you want to use, an idea dump section for any ideas you've got, and the TikTok content planner. So for TikTok, it's very similar to the Reels one you found on Instagram, where you're thinking about the different clips, transitions, the music you want to use, the topic, your hook, your caption, all those sort of things. So it's very similar to the Reels one, but a little bit more tailored to TikTok. Now we've got Pinterest. So Pinterest, we've got schedule. So we've sort of split it into different types of pins and how frequently you do them. Then we've got boards. So you can set up your Pinterest boards, so an easy reference guide for the boards that you have. So as you create pins, you think, well, which board do I want to be using it in? So if you've got boards that perform really well and you want to keep in mind these are the most important boards I want to post to, you can plan them out too. So if you haven't created all your boards too, it's another great tool to plan out those boards. So putting the covers in, the board name, board description. So you can use it as either a reference guide for your boards or to plan out boards if you still haven't created your boards. So it's handy for either thing. Now, if you scroll across in this board section, you'll also find sections for group boards. So if you're part of different group boards, you can put the name and also board rules, because some boards have certain rules to them. So it's helpful to have a reference for those rules to keep in mind how you can use those boards. Now we have our idea pin planner, which is quite similar to the Instagram story planner. So this is where you've got boxes for each of the slides in the idea pin, and you can, if you're planning it out, you could start off by just scribbling and storyboarding out what each slide's going to be. And then when you've actually designed it, what you can do is just go to the image thing and put that image on top, so you can plan it out whatever suits you. So if you've already created it and you just want to put it in there as a plan of this is what I'm going to be posting, or if you just want to storyboard it out and sketch out your ideas, you can use it that way as well. So here, just as an example, you can see once you've created it, you can just stick that image straight on top. So if you've started out with just a quick sketch of what you want, you can then put that final image as well. And it's got a second page as well for your tags and additional information that's going on your idea pin. So keep in mind that when you duplicate this, you copy and paste it, that you're copying and pasting both pages, because idea pins can be up to 10 slides long. So I've included 10 slide sections there. Now we've got our actual pin planner. So this is for your regular pins. So you've got a section there for your graphic, your title, description, alt text, your link, which board it goes on, and the date you're going to be putting it out there. So again, so you can just sketch it out, the graphic, or you can put your final graphic in there. Now onto YouTube. So with YouTube, we've got a posting schedule. We've also, which is just looking at the month and when you want to be posting that month, and also looking at the year as a whole. Now we've got a playlist planning, so if you want to plan out your playlists, you can do that. Then we've got an idea dumps for dumping out ideas for videos, and of course your YouTube video planner. So this is where you can write down the title, when you want to publish it, any keyword research. You also got key points to discuss, so if you don't want to write out exactly word for word what you want to say, you might just want to write out those key points of what you want to be discussing in that video, so you know exactly what you need to talk about when you go to record it. You can then write the description, the video description, your tags. You can insert your thumbnail. You can decide what playlist you're going to add it to, and also what cards you're going to be adding. So as you can see, you can use the text tool. So if you've got longer text like the description, you can actually type that out if you want, or you can just scribble out some ideas. So maybe if you don't want to write the whole thing, you can just scribble down, this is, generally what I want to make sure I include in that description. So just use this planner, what suits you, what suits the way you like to plan. As you can see, it's quite flexible. So you can, write and draw, or you can use text, you can use images. You can make it just suit your style of planning and how you like to do things. So it's really flexible that way, which I think makes it a really great planner. And finally, we have the review section. So this is a great section to go over and review how things are going. You've got your stats tracker, so looking at your monthly stats. And then when you scroll across, so let's go into edit mode, and you can use your pen tool, and we can be adding things like your followers, your reach, your engagement, views, watch time. And you can say, for this particular month, this is how we went with all our social media platforms. So it's a great way of looking at all the platforms and seeing which platforms are working best for you. So each month, if you're, copy and pasting that page month to month over, you can see, well, which ones are growing, which ones are improving, what's actually working for me. So we've also got a section then we've also got a follower growth page, which is just all over follower growth, your monthly review. So this one you can use for any of your platforms. So you can just make a monthly review for how that platform was performing for you. So make sure again that you make plenty of copies of that page as you go. So for this one, you've got your platform, your month, and then we can put in images here under best performing. So maybe you can put in, these are all the posts that perform the best. And that's a really great reference, because you can look at it and think, well, this is what's been working. This is the things that are performing well. This was not. We've also got a yearly review. So at the end of the year, you can really look over, well, how did everything go? How did I grow? What went well? What can I learn from it, so that as you go forward, you know what's working. And then we've got the what's working page. You can get clear on, well, what's actually working in social media right now, what's going well. You've got your ads tracker. So if you have ads, you can track your ads. And finally, account details. So you can use that to reference your details. So I hope you found this really helpful, and if you don't already have a copy, then you'll find a link in the description below. And if you do have a copy and you've been going through this to learn how to use it, feel free to refer to this video at any time if you're unsure about how to use this. Make sure you make an extra copy of the planner too, so if you mess anything up, you can always go back to the original, and you can use it over and over again every year. So enjoy using your planner and get planning.